Hello, everybody. Welcome to today's live stream. I am so happy to be back. You have no idea. Like just seeing the chart and seeing even some of the ideas that we talked about since I've been back are now starting to play out a little bit. Forgive me if there's a little bit of there's any issues or difference with mic sound or anything like that. I just got my hard drive back. I was able to recover all the data from my old drive, thank God. And I'm still getting all of the settings, fine tuned to where I had them before. That made everything like really, really smooth and look good. So just bear with me. I'll work on that this weekend. We'll have our live stream on Monday, and things will kind of be back to the way that they were. So one thing that I talked about, I posted this recently. If we just zoom, we had this really nice H1 order block that we could see held as support here to a T, right to the dollar. And we can see here that it has struggled to kind of reclaim it. And in the Discord, what I said was, is this an SR flip? Right? Are we going down here, back testing it for then continuation to the downside? And after this move down here and we popped back up like this and reclaimed the bottom of the channel, this right here, in my opinion, was the attempted breakdown, failed, and we're back up here to testing the H1 aura block. And it might be easy to say, yeah, this could be an SR flip, but in my opinion, and it's a little bit more clear on a 4-hour time frame, this is more clearly, to me, it's safer to trade this as a deviation. So I actually opened up a long, like totally unbiasedly, like not even trying to snipe an entry or anything. I just randomly opened up a long here that was underwater for a time, but I just didn't even pay attention to it, right? If we went below here, my trade is invalidated. If we held it, great, we're going higher. And we can see here that we are right now breaking above, the H1 order block again. And we can see we have an H4 order block here, we have an H4 order block here, so these are both great places for a take profit. But ideally, we kind of see, something, a little bit of something here, maybe a little bit of something here, and we get kind of a swing failure of this high, to which then, we can reevaluate and look to trade however we want to. And we'll take a look at some different stuff and talk about some levels. I have not done a proper chart update in a while. And what's actually kind of messed up is, let me pull this up here. What's actually kind of messed up is I haven't had to do a proper update in a while because not shit is happening. So this was May 12th, and it is May 26th today. And if we go ahead and look, between the 12th and the 6th, we've been trading in this range. A whole lot of nothing is happening, right? So we'll go through and we'll look at some updates. I'm not confident that there's going to be a whole lot of new things to take a look at, but nonetheless, I think it's really important that I clean up my chart and we take a look at some stuff here. I don't know what this is, like this new drawings will sync out in the layouts. I get the idea. I think it's cool, but this is just kind of distracting me because I'm not used to it. All right, let's go through. I want to, just move some things around, clean up my object tree here, and we'll kind of start to, get going. Are you guys all able to hear me okay? Just if someone can send in the chat if they can hear me all right and everything sounds good, then we'll go ahead and we'll carry on. Okay, so this is a nice swing failure. This is our SFP. Drop this in here, take a look at some other stuff. All good. Thank you. Thanks, Morgan. Appreciate it. Um, all right, where the fuck? Guys, I cannot tell you how I swear to God, like I've had this set up for a long time now. Couple monitors, TV, and my laptop, and I very, 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 very much so took it for granted. Not having it the last few weeks and trying to trade without it. I've been charting mobily and trading mobily, and it's been fine, but it's very much not the same experience. So this was the this right here actually is our, yeah, okay. So this here, we don't really need this anymore. Don't need this. So this was that butterfly harmonic, and in fact, it's still intact. It's still playing out technically. I mean, we can go ahead and move this over here. Just want to be serious. 26.0. So my average is no longer at this point. My average is higher because I added down in here. But nonetheless, this long trade that I posted that like 3 weeks ago, I was watching for this harmonic to form, and it did. Um, it's technically not invalidated yet, right? Okay, so this long plan is still valid. Um, that said, I'm definitely going to be taking profit and looking for a swing failure here. I would have preferred that this would have played out a lot sooner. Let's see here. I'm just gonna post. Let's take a look at the timing on this one. Yes, yeah, yeah. It's really, yeah. Given the size of this harmonic, from here to here, it's really it's very much still intact. Even timing wise, it's really not looking bad at all. I actually think this looks just fine. Let's take a look here. Target one. Target one, right at the 28K value area. Let's see what that says. Value area high. A lot of great confluence here, as I was calling for a long time ago. Obviously, price is just taking a lot longer than we would have expected for that move to play out. So here's the thing for me. We do have some really nice, these H4 order blocks that I pointed out that are, likely going to act as resistance. If you're more in a scalping mindset right now and you're not in this swing trade mindset per se, these are some great areas to take profit. Now, in my opinion, a key spot for taking profit is going to be this swing failure pattern here. If we get this move up and a closure below and price sort of starts to falter, we have high positive delta, funding rates are largely positive. We see a lot of signaling saying that, yeah, this could see some potential reversal. I may very well look to take a short to at the very least hedge my long, or I'll just simply close my long. I mean, at this point, if we swing failure this and we get a pullback, I can look for a long at the 618 or wherever. It doesn't necessarily matter, but there's no reason, that this trading from here to here, it's a pretty nice trade in my opinion. You're looking at a nice 5% move at the very least, right? So far so good. I'm really happy with this deviation trade. I mean, anytime I see something like that, we are rounding out below a previous support area. My mind immediately goes to thinking, yeah, okay, this is definitely going to be a deviation. That it's just the first place that my mind goes to when I see something like this. And it's really easy to say, okay, it's an SR flip. Well, I'll tell you the reason why I didn't is, first of all, we had this failed breakdown here. Secondly, when we're getting this move back up, people are still heavily, heavily, heavily shorting there's a lot of negative delta built up into this low, and that's something that we'll take a moment to take a look at some point here today. But I still want to go through and clean up this chart a little bit. Just get rid of all this shit. Okay, nice trend line here. All right, drop this down here. 24K range high. Let me add this to this. Don't need that. Don't need that. That's really old. We don't really need that. Let's take a look at some of these trend lines. Yeah, right now this is kind of the only important one to me at this point. I think it could line up nicely with a swing failure depending on when it happens. Being that it's Friday, let's see here. We would expect typically price to go sideways up until here. Let's say we chug up. We do something like this. And let's say we get a nice swing failure with the trend line here. That might be a very nice setup. A nice swing failure with the trend line would be really nice. Okay, this our macro swing short. I've closed this trade. I told you guys when I did, I closed it down here. And the reason being is, you know, like, so this was a, I really hope a lot of people learn from this, because it was such an interesting place to trade. Everyone was getting so chopped up with the volatility on lower time frames here. I was simply, every time we went up here, I was just laddering into more shorts. I just kept laddering into shorts. And people were going back and forth thinking we're going to break out. Price revisited their entry too many times, so there's a lot of like nervousness, right? People weren't confident in their position. And, you know, for me, when we get this aggressive move to the downside like this that happened, you know, in a span of, Jesus, over the weekend, in a week. Yeah, it was about a week long move, just virtually straight down. You know, for me, when I see something like that, I'm thinking, okay, well, we're likely going to range for a time, which we ranged actually a lot longer than I thought we would. And so that's why I closed the trade down here. I was happy with it. I mean, what, you know, I closed it. We got the butterfly harmonic that I wanted. We were at support. I didn't want to hold a trade for another, you know, 3 weeks just to partially revisit it and then maybe see it trade back down, right? Like I'm not interested in that. I would rather close it here and be very happy with virtually straight down for a week and then hit my long setup, open up a long, right? And unfortunately, I've been holding that now for a couple weeks when I would, you know, I'd really like to see some kind of a move up into this zone here, ideally, to where I can then, you know, take some major profit on that trade. So anyway, this one's, you know, it's closed. I'm done with it. I'm gonna delete it off my chart. I'm no longer interested in that trade. Just want to get rid of all this stuff here. I really, where is this H1? Oh, okay. Before we get started on looking at this chart kind of as a blank slate, I do want to zoom out and show you guys, man, we are flying. Let's fucking go. Sweet. What a great day. Oh, and this is another one I've been watching. Well, I'll talk about this a little bit too. There's a really, really nice opportunity here, in my opinion, for this. What's it called? RNDR. I don't even know what it does. I don't know anything about it. But I would love to see, you know, I'll kind of watch it here because it does look like we're beginning to form some kind of a rising wedge. And this monthly level is very much acting as resistance, but man, if we were to swing failure this high here, boy, I would short the living life out of it. I would short it so hard. I would market short so hard on that. Um, anyway, so taking a look here, I want to look at our weekly chart just to give us like, I just want us to zoom out for a second and have a little bit of perspective. Man, if anybody knows how to turn off this, I don't want any of my shit synced here. I purposely use separate charts. I don't want anything syncing here. Okay, so I just want to zoom out for a moment and just remind everyone of what we were talking about several weeks ago. I was basically saying, like, listen, right here, this line here is the 382 of this move of wave 3. It's the 382 of wave 3. And typically you would see wave 4 retrace to the 382. And the reason why you would typically see it retrace to that point is because you would see largely this retracement would be built on profit taking, which it's exactly that. I mean, so far this has been largely, profit taking. This hasn't been like some major aggressive move, similar to wave 2 here where we saw a retracement down to about the 618, right? Very swift buyback for then a move up, okay, which gave us our wave 3. This has been very slow, very sideways to the 382. This move very much, how do I say this? It fits the description of what could be a wave 4 retracement for then a wave 5 continuation. Now, in my mind, I think that this was a really appropriate top. I think that this zone is a very appropriate zone to be rejecting from here. As you can see, it was support, support, support. We lost support here, right? Support, support, lost support. Had this move down. We spent a significant amount of time below here, and now we're retesting that zone for the very first time. And upon retesting it for the first time, it's not surprising that you would see some degree of a rejection, or at the very least, if you think to yourself, hey, I'm one of the people that longed somewhere in here. Well, God, this is a really good place to take profit. This is a macro resistance zone that would be a very good place to take profit, and that's exactly what we're seeing happen here, right? So my point is, in showing you this, what I want to make abundantly clear is that if we are going to see continuation to the upside for a potential wave 5 here, if that is going to happen, this level should hold, which is also, right, our butterfly harmonic here and all the setups that we talked about on a lower time frame. If we are going to see continuation to the upside, then we want to see this hold. Now, if we lose this level, then we go back to our original doomsday scenario where we're expecting some more of a significant retracement to the downside, and possibly just simply ranging, right, having some degree of a larger range that we can take a look at, generally speaking. So just to pull you guys out, remind yourselves of where we are kind of on a macro scale here. I just wanted to remind you of kind of these two options and how crucial this small zone is here in determining if we will go up higher or if we're simply just going to have more of a move to the downside. Let's take a look. I just want to see. Let's go. Just going to take a look at this very briefly. Just want to see where we're at. Yeah, so we just smashed right through this H4 order block here, which not too surprising, right? Price is currently trading above it, so we want to see a closure above that, continuation. Then we can take on this H4 order block, which it looks like we're going to do. And if you're wondering why we're getting this significant move to the upside, we can actually take a moment to check it out. We'll go ahead and look at this. So you can see down in these lows here, we had largely negative delta, 10 billion in negative delta, right? And if we go ahead and zoom out, we'll get rid of, let's get rid of all the little fish traders. We'll look at the whales here. We can see that these were a lot of the kind of larger, where the larger positions were placed, okay? And when you're looking at this, you can see, all right, so these are hot spots, right? Where are the hot spots on the chart that you would expect, some kind of a push to? And you can see here 26.85, 26.85, 26.85. You can see there's a lot of big delta built up into there. And guess where we just squeezed through? 26.85. So that's a really nice spot to have squeezed into. And we can see that there's quite a bit more up for grabs a little bit higher. If we actually go ahead and look, we'll just take a peek real quick. Um, oh yeah. I thanks for the heads up on that. Someone just said that they can only hear through one side of the headset. I I know exactly what the problem is. Yeah, thanks for pointing that out to me. I wonder if I can actually fix that while we're live. I might have just fixed that. Feel free to let me know if I did. Okay, cool. So we'll go ahead and look. I want to look at like our 7 day. Yeah, so a lot of liquidity, unsurprisingly above that high, kind of where we would see a swing failure. So it's just, there's really a lot of confluence for a move up there. I really like that. Um, I'd really like that play. There's a lot of confluence for a move up to that zone. There it is. Yeah, 27,800 on the monthly um, chart here for our liquidity heat map. 27,800. If we go ahead back to our chart here, 27,800 would be, yeah, exactly where we would see a potential swing failure pattern. We'll go ahead and pull that up. You can see, yeah, 27,800, exactly that. We'll go ahead and pull up our trend line. So if we were to see something like, through 27,300, closure back below here, and then, maybe we simply just range from there again, right? So this would be a potentially very nice short. If we break through the level and we don't see a swing failure here, I'm going to be very cautious on shorting for looking for a potential move to the upside. All right, so with that said, let's actually do what we came to do. And how long we've been going for now? About let's see, we've been going on for about 26 minutes. All right, we're gonna just dive into the chart a little bit here. Just want to do a bit of updating to be sure I have everything all checked out here on the chart. All right, let's see. We'll start with I think I have all of my monthlies checked out. I'm gonna get rid of some here. All right, so these are all of our key monthly levels at this point here. Five days till monthly close. Yeah. think these are two relevant monthly levels. Let's go to our weekly chart. Holy shit, we got a little bit of cleaning up to do on the weeklies. Yeah, I don't think I need all of these. This one can go. This one can go. Shit. So these are tapped, but they're just so key. You know, this is a super key SR flip. I'm just gonna hide that one. I'm gonna hide this one. This one's tapped, very key though. Do we have any new weeklies? Shit, we do. Look at this. All right, I'm going to add one here. And that is 29,237. That is untapped. So I'm actually going to hide this one then. I'm going to get rid of this one just because we have the monthly. And let's go ahead down to the daily time frame. Let's see what we got. So we have an untapped daily at this weekly spot. That's interesting. Huh. Okay. Yeah, so we have a couple dailies here that I think this might be the only one I'll mark out. You know, I just so I'll show you guys like we have one here. I'm not particularly interested in this one. Could it provide resistance? 100% absolutely. But when you are in an area that's been so chopped up like this, I'm not exactly interested in that one. This one I'm also not interested in because we have an untapped weekly level here. So really I can just look at this as a small zone of resistance, right? But this one here I really like just simply because it still remains untapped and the rejection was so aggressive. You know, really significant move down off of this level here. So for me, this is a really nice, untapped daily level that I'll definitely look to trade in the future if price does, reach its way up to there. 30,000. Here we go. Okay. So we have that one there. I'm gonna go ahead and hide this. Gonna go ahead and hide this one. And I think for horizontal levels right now, these are really the key levels that we should have marked on our charts for at the very least kind of local price action here. And what's really interesting, as I'm sure you could take notice of, is that price in terms of these horizontal levels is really just suspended in the middle of nowhere. We really don't have a level marked out exactly right here. Okay. So let's go back to our monthly. I just want to be sure that our monthly levels are where they should be. Yep. Yep. Okay. Let's go back down to a lower time frame here. So the previous month low currently acting as resistance. Previous month low. Which is also the 618. Really nice place to have a small rejection here. At the very least, a small rejection here. I think that's really nice. This level here also is the monthly open still to this point. take a look at. I want to look at some naked point of controls here and see if we have any new ones here that I've missed. Mm, yeah, this one to me is borderline tapped, so I don't really feel the need to mark it out. This one here, 27,350. Yeah, I'll mark that one out. 27,350. Okay. All right, so I think for horizontal levels, this is everything that we want to have on our charts. Again, we can see that we're suspended here, so it's, I think it's important that we kind of take a look at what we might have here. I'm gonna hide this one because I think that this will be a key area of resistance if price even gets to move to that zone. I remember it was at 28K. It was the previous month point of control, which is also the point of control of this zone here. So here's what I'm going to look for just right off the bat. And we kind of talked about this. I think we have this really nice swing failure potential here. We have this nice weekly level that's kind of been this SR zone for me. But I'm actually going to get rid of it off my chart right now. I just want to clean this up as much as I can. If price can reclaim this zone here, I think that there's a high likelihood that we will trade back into this zone or front run and get a nice swing failure of this one. So if we reclaim here, you know, I think we would see something like this, maybe even higher up where it comes up like that. And then from there, price would have to decide if we're gonna swing failure here, then we'll probably come back down to range lows. If we close above this here, then you know this will really be the next contender. If we can get price above here, then you know that this zone up here would obviously be kind of our next area of resistance, right? So a reclaim of the val, I think, would be the very first thing that we would have to see here in order to expect any more continuation to the upside. I'm gonna go ahead and just hide that for now. Do we have any fair value gaps? Just the one here that I think is important to have up. I'm going to give this a little bit more context. All right, I'm going to get rid of this here. I'm also going to get rid of, I'm going to keep those. I'm actually going to draw this out here. God, I almost want to move this now. It's tough to say. No, I think it's better right now for this to be down here. And then I'll get rid of this. So if you really, really, really want to simplify this right now, if you really want to simplify this, I think it's really easy to say, okay, we're in this kind of a macro range here that we can see we've hit the midline, gone to the top, back to the bottom. You know, we've basically rotated this a couple times here. If price can reclaim this zone, I think it's very likely that we visit this point of control right here, which is also roughly the midline. If price finds strength and breaks through there, you know, I would be looking to this area right here as a very, 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 very key area of resistance. I would definitely not be interested in taking longs here. If price gets to this zone, we have high positive delta. Things are, you know, funding rates are largely positive. We're seeing some bearish divergences, etc., etc. I'm very much going to be looking to, you know, close or short, at the very least, close my long, if not be, you know, looking into some short positions here. I wouldn't be surprised, because this is the monthly open, if bulls are going to make an attempt to save the monthly. You know, they may want to get up into this zone here and push price above the monthly open to create a green monthly candle, right? So if we do see a closure, you know, back above this val here, essentially, you know, you're definitely going to be looking, we'll definitely be looking into this zone at the very least, which could give us our swing failure pattern. So that'll be one thing that I'm going to be looking for here. I have an alert marked on my chart here. Watch for SFP potential short. We have one here, and then I'm going to set another alert here and say very key zone for potential short. Look for statistical advantages. So these are where I have my alerts set. I encourage you to set them in something of the same area and kind of watch these levels here. If we go ahead and I wonder if I should almost even push this up to here. And we'll go ahead and hide this. Let's go down to a 4 hour and just see how this looks. Yeah, I think this is fine. The bottom of this channel is really a zone. It's tough to nail down a good spot for that, but I think just to keep an eye on the val, it's a really easy way of doing it is with that right there. Okay, I do want to add. Let's go back here. Just want to look at a couple more things, and then we're gonna wrap this up. So this channel, I very, 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 very much like this channel. I'm actually going to yeah, this channel is really nice. I think this channel is really key. And again, if we zoom in, we can see that the just timing wise, we can see that early next week would really line up with this previous month point of control as well as the midline of this upwards channel. So I think that that's a really key zone to keep an eye on as well as a key time. I'm going to hide this and I'm gonna hide this. And I think for now, these are all the levels that you would need on your chart. I do want to add some trend lines here. Let's just take a look at all these other ones really quickly. Okay. All right. This is it for me. This is everything that you would need on your chart, in my opinion. And we can look at some different setups maybe next week. But I just wanted to update the chart with you guys and kind of take a look at, what are some key zones here that we really, really need to keep an eye on. And ultimately going down to a lower time frame. And like I said, I'm going to wrap this up with you right now. We can see that this area right here has a great deal of confluence. Usually spots like this can be a hot spot for price action. So, we'd be looking Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday for price to kind of reach this zone here, in which case we may have ourselves a short opportunity. If price gets to this zone and blasts through, then, we simply look a little bit higher for a short opportunity, okay? And really what we want to see is a reclaim of this range val here. I would say like a 4-hour closure above, at the very least. I don't know if let's take a look at the hourly here. Yeah, the hourly, it's still holding as resistance. Really you do want to see price get back above that level on a higher time frame and continue to hold if we're going to see continuation to the upside. I think the very first trade that you can openly set your mind to is this swing failure here. If we really do zoom into lower time frames, and let's like get out a lot of this noise here, right? Like hide some of this stuff here, and you can see that this would be a really nice opportunity to take out these highs here, kind of get a sweep of the high here, kind of do something like this, and then look for a move to the downside. So that would be my first actionable trade that I would be looking for, is a swing failure of this high here. If we don't get that swing failure, I think it's abundantly clear that we'll go a little bit higher at the very least to this previous month point of control. If price goes absolutely apeshit, then this weekly, monthly open, naked point of control, previous range val, this zone here, very, very large resistance. I'll definitely be looking to short this if the proper conditions are there. When I'm looking at this, I don't, as of right now, see a whole lot of reason for price to. I think if price can't have continuation here, again, this is just the key area that we do want to see price push above, and if it fails to do so, I don't think we're going to have a whole lot of continuation. But taking a look at the delta here, we still have 8 billion in negative delta here for potential short squeeze to the upside. Which I think would be very good for, at the very least, like I said, a move to sweep this high here, which when we looked at the heat map, we're reminded that we do have that hot spot here at about 27,800, which does coincide with the swing failure of this high here, 27,672. 27,800 is right around where that is. So you can imagine we would go up, cut through that 27,800 zone, close below, give us an opportunity to open up a short position here, have our stop loss here, and basically look to trade it back down to the range value area low, right? So I do like that setup. I think that this zone here really provides an opportunity for maybe kind of getting that move up like this, close below. So this is something to keep an eye on. In the meantime, if we do close below here, I'm honestly like I'm just like not interested in shorting in here at all, like anywhere in here. I'm not interested in shorting it. I would be interested in shorting up here. As far as opening more longs, I'm not going to be opening any more longs. Like I said, I'm already long from down here, and I did that based on a deviation of that H1 order block here that we can see acted as a really, really nice area for a deviation and a flip back into support for what we're now seeing as a move to the upside. Okay. So I hope that, gosh, I gotta say, guys, it's been really, really nice. It's so good, so good to be back. Um, like I said, on Monday, we'll plan on having another live stream, and I hope to do a little bit of analysis and look for more actionable pieces for a live stream on Monday where we can actually look at some, very specific setups. And one other thing I do just want to share with you guys. This RNDR. I know a lot of people are following this coin here. It's like really popular coin to trade right now. Here's what I can tell you is if you want, I think a lot of people are eagerly hopping into shorts here, and we can see that just by looking at the we can see that just by looking at the funding rates, just how negative across the board they are. They've been largely negative for a period of time. So I think that for me, I'm not really eager to hop into shorts on this one either, and I think a lot of people might be encouraged to. You're welcome to follow your own analysis and do your own trades, but for me, like taking out these highs here, I think is really the priority of this move to the upside. And if you take a look at it, we have, made a move above the previous range point of control. This also does line up with the previous range value area high. We are sort of in this range here. If you just kind of take a look, from up to down here, price ranged in it for a period of time. And I think that we're basically back into that zone. So I would at the very least be looking for a move to the range high, stop loss, open a short position, and look to trade it back down to range low. Okay. And when the time comes, I do think that this is going to have a very nice move to the downside. If we zoom in a little bit here, we can see that there are a hell of a lot of lows that are just like begging to get taken out. That would also bring us back down to the low of the range. So I think it would be really appropriate, I think, to just like see another kind of a squeeze to the upside, some other more aggressive move, right, for then, getting that move back to the downside. So just something else to keep in mind on here. I think it would be fun. I'm gonna like kind of keep an eye on this and maybe do some trades on it. But primarily, we want to see what BTC does here. I do think if Bitcoin does provide the right conditions, then we can see that set up. If not, then this one is probably simply going to go lower and take out these lows right here. We can already start to see some kind of a wedge kind of beginning to form there. So we'll go ahead and cut it off there. Thank you, as always, guys. Thank you for watching. And like I said, we'll be back on Monday. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask in the chat.